Thanks for joining us today for our GeoSync GO webinar. My name is Carol Whitson. David Carter is going to be our presenter today. If you'll notice on your GoToWebinar dashboard, you can ask questions as we go along. I'm going to be monitoring those. I'll try to answer those as quickly as possible or follow up with an email if they need a more in-depth response. If you prefer, you can email comments or questions to info@cdpengineers.com. David, it is all yours.
Okay, thanks everybody for attending. This is part 2 in the GeoSync GO management series. We're going to talk about publishing this morning, and particularly what that means from the GeoSync GO perspective. Publishing, what's involved in that, and what does that mean? Some of the management pieces that we're going to go over in this series involve publishing today. We're going to come back and talk about processing in another webinar. We did one on dashboard, kind of the overview of the dashboard, and we've got a few more that we're going to dig into there. Also, some of the tools for building search engines, and then also managing the account and just project creation and I guess more data management activities there. But today we're going to talk about publishing and what that means and how it works. Just as in a review, the GeoSync GO Cloud service is a geospatial toolbox, and we just need to remember that it is a toolbox. Publishing is one of the tools that's in the box that helps us move data back and forth from our office to our mobile devices. We're going to kind of focus in on the desktop software because publishing always takes place from or out of the desktop software where it's operating as the GeoSync GO manager. This is the way things are organized. It's kind of an overview of how the cloud service is organized. The desktop manager is where the management function takes place, and over here, and then the GeoSync GO Cloud provides storage and provides a transport mechanism for information to move from the manager out to our mobile devices. These will be our mobile devices. We also have a database in the mix where our workflow data is stored and saved, and we can have access to that. But what we're going to focus in on really is publishing, and publishing is for the most part moving data from the desktop manager to the cloud. I'll also just say that when we talk about publishing, that often creates a little bit of anxiety and thinking that this is a tremendous amount of work and there's a lot involved in it. And really, from the GeoSync GO Cloud service perspective, publishing is not a really complicated process. It really basically does involve moving data, just copying data from your local machine database to the cloud. So again, what is publishing? And what we're going to look at is publishing is a part of our overall workflow process, our typical workflow process, where we would come in and look at about any type of data management activity that you're doing. Will fall into this diagram. Publishing is part of that, and publishing is copying critical workflow data from the desktop manager to the GeoSync Cloud Outbox for the purpose of mobile software being able to sync and use the data. That is, I guess, concisely what publishing is in GeoSync GO. Everything happens from the desktop software, from the manager software. The tools associated with publishing are contained within this piece of software. Again, data moving to the cloud outbox is what we're talking about. The purpose of that is for that information to be able to be consumed by our mobile devices. So we use the cloud to be able to transport information to the mobile. That way we can anywhere we can get to an internet connection, we can get updated data from the cloud. So we can update our maps, or we can update our field forms. We can make sure we have the most current photos or media available for the work that we're going to do. GeoSync Go provides 3 different types of mobile software. There's 3 different software packages that can be used for mobile. So the desktop mobile, that's the same software that we use for the manager. However, it's configured for use as mobile software. It can run on a Windows tablet, or it could be on a laptop, or really it could even be on another desktop, because sometimes the desktop might be in another office or located at another location, and we can use the publishing transport process to be able to refresh those desktops as well as phones and tablets. We have desktop, we have the GeoSync Go mobile software, which is primarily designed to be able to work as a disconnected mobile client, and then the GeoSync Go Web, which is really the most live or user-friendly of the mobile software, but it does require you to have an internet connection. And GeoSync Go Web will work anywhere that you have an internet connection. You just need a browser for it to work. So publishing, again, it's manager to outbox. We're going to take data that's critical to our workflows, and we're going to use the desktop manager, and we're going to copy that information out to the Cloud Outbox. Publishing takes place by project. So if you're aware, in the GeoSync Go, your GeoSync Go account can have an unlimited number of projects. Projects allow you to organize data or separate different data or different groups of workflows together so that you can target that information to a specific task. So when we publish, we're publishing by project, and the types of things that we can publish or that we need to publish that are critical for our workflow include map layers, GeoSync GO layers. We need to be able to publish our quick searches, which provide access to searching in the mobile devices. We also have a GeoSearch Engine, which is a little more sophisticated address search mechanism. It only works in the desktop. And then we need to be able to move some base layers, which are also desktop-only type functions. Some of our cached maps, media, and then our forms that we would use to collect data. So we're going to kind of break down each one of these items and discuss a little bit more about what's involved and how you would publish the information. Because we need all these items at different times for different workflows. So we go through each one of these types of published data. First of all, media files. Media files could be PDFs, JPEGs, probably in terms of photos is going to be the most common, but they could be PNG files. It could be just any type of file that you have decided to link to a feature or to a report. And we want those media files to be in the cloud, and we want those to be stored in the cloud because we'd like for those files to be available for use by the mobile devices. In terms of media, publishing is automatic. If you use the link media tools that are in each of the pieces of software, then the publishing of those photos and documents to the cloud is automatic. It takes care of that. So there's no extra step that you need to take. If you're using, as long as you're using the tools that are provided in the desktop or the mobile software, then any documents that you link will automatically be published and available to all projects that you have set up in GeoSync Go. So nothing to do with media. It's automatic. Field forms are also automatically published to the cloud when you save those from the workflow wizard or from the quick form wizard that's in the desktop. So if you put together a field form as information you want to collect, once you save that and you select the projects you want it available, it is published at that point to the cloud and is accessible to those projects in the field. Nothing else is required. anytime you need to make a change to a field form, if you go back to either the workflow wizard or the quick form tool that's in the desktop and you save that update, it's going to be immediately published for use the next time a mobile device syncs or tries to open up and fill out a report. That field form will be available. So forms are pretty much automatic if you follow the processes in building your workflows. GeoSearch Engine is a fairly sophisticated address geosearch tool, and the way it only works in the desktop software, so it's really designed for in the office, for use in the office. The GeoSearch is always going to be named address geosearch.gse. That's the name of the file that exists. It's created, and the GeoSearch is always created from one of the ArcGIS tools that are provided with the cloud service. So it's a tool that runs inside of ArcGIS, and it provides a mechanism for you to build a search engine which can include roads and address points. You can also do other type of lookups, such as if you're using property, you might be able to use property names or property IDs in that also. The address GeoSearch file is always locally found on your local machine under your project folder and the GeoSearch layers, and again it'll be named address geosearch.gse. If you use one of the publishing tools available in the desktop, Publish Layers, you can select the GeoSearch, copy it to the cloud, and then it would be available for any other desktop software to be able to sync and use. So GeoSearch for desktop only. We also have a quick search file, which quick searches are a tool that provides a pretty powerful search tool that can be helpful in any of your workflows, because you can be searching for addresses, you can search by facility IDs, by names, pretty much anything that you want to search by. You can create a quick search and then deploy that. So we need to publish that quick search file again to the cloud, so it would be available to all our mobile devices. Quick searches are available in all the software that's part of the GeoSync GO cloud service, desktop, mobile, or web software. The quick search is always named geosyncgo.search.xml. It's the name of the file. You can build that search file in either the ArcGIS environment or the GeoSync GO Desktop. You can build it from either place. And you would use, again, you'd use one of the publishing tools that we're going to look at in a minute to update that information to the cloud. Just to say, there's two publishing tools that are available in the GeoSync GO Desktop, and we'll look at both of those, and both of them will allow you to publish the quick search for use in the field. This file is also locally found under your project GeoSearch Layers folder. Cache tiles is another type of data that you might want to make available for use in the field. It might need to get synced from time to time. And when we're talking about cache tiles, they can be available, at least the cache tiles that we publish to the cloud can be available in both the desktop and mobile and web software. The idea here is you might have a map that you have produced, particularly if you used your GIS, you might have produced a custom map and you want those tiles, or you want that look and feel of that background map to match up to what you're used to. So we can, in publishing this, we can publish those tiles back to the cloud for a connected use, so that if I have an internet connection, I can see those. We also have a different kind of publishing for cache tiles, is that you can manually copy any of those files to an Android device or an iOS device or a Windows device for disconnected use. But what we're really talking about today, the publishing process, we're really thinking about how we take this information and make it available in the cloud for connected use or for syncing to our mobile devices. Cache tiles are created using the cache tools that are in the desktop or the standalone tile builder. And the tool that you have to use is the AutoPublish Layers tool in GeoSync GO Desktop. Has an option in there called Publishing Map Tiles, and if you go to that, if you go to that tab in that dialog, you'll be able to update your cache tiles. Tiles are always found under the GeoSync GO cache map name folders on your local machine. Another type of data that we can publish are our SQL layers. This is only for our desktop. This is when I want to use a more enhanced background map for my desktop viewing. And the publishing tool, the Publish Layers tool, provides you a way to copy that information to publish to the cloud, so you can sync that back to any of your other desktops. Again, this is one of those processes that can be handled manually, so you can do a manual copy to disk for this type of data. Now, the map layers is the most critical and the most often used publishing data set that needs to be published. This is our layers of information, such as it could be our fire hydrants, it might be sewer manholes, might be address points, could be property, parcels, any of that type of work, or my leak detection layer, any other type of inspection data, whatever that map layer is that we might want to share, then we need to publish that and refresh it. Often in workflow processes, and it could be I need to inspect construction sites, and every week I have new construction sites being added into my system. Well, I need to be able to publish those new sites to the cloud to make those available to the mobile devices that are out trying to do inspections. So that's an ongoing process. So when we think about map layers, we can put those really in kind of two different categories. One are workflow layers, and most often they're named based on the layer name .gse.xml. Not always, but most of the time, if you see that naming convention, you know that's probably a workflow layer. Workflow layers are created from the GeoSync GO workflow process, from the workflow wizard. The other type of map layer would be a GIS layer, or what we might call, in some cases we call just a basic layer. It's an information reference layer. Those most often come from your GIS. So they could be a layer. It may be you have all of your water system information in your GIS, and you use the export tool that's provided, and that information you would want to publish and make available to mobile devices in the field. Most often the naming convention for any GIS layer is going to be the layer name .shp.gse.xml, and that's the name that's created from the export tool that we use in the ArcGIS environment. Map layers can be updated by either one of the publishing tools that are available in the desktop, and you can use either one of those. And all map layers are locally found under the project name GeoSearch Layers folder. So here, let's take a look at the two different tools that we can use for publishing. And the first one is the Publish tool. This is the easiest to use, the most basic way to publish. It's a manual tool, and the way it works, you would sign into an individual project, and then you would go to open the Publish Layers tool. This gives you an idea where that tool can be found. Opens up this dialog, and then you're in one project area, and you can see on the left side data that's on your local machine. On the right side, you'll see information that's currently in the cloud, and just by checking the resources you want, hitting the To Cloud button, that information is published and copied to the cloud for mobile use. All the different types of data that we talked about are available by just switching this combo box. If you switch from mobile layers, say, to quick search or quick search file, then you'll see your local quick search file and you can deploy that information. So the Publish Layer tool is the most basic, straightforward way to publish. It is a manual process, so you open this tool and you publish on a per project basis. There's also another tool, an AutoPublish Layers tool that you can get to, and this one's a little more sophisticated. It does all of the things that the Publish Layer tool does, but what it provides is access to all of your projects at one time. So if you open that up and you've got 5 or 6 different data projects, you can use this one tool to publish to multiple projects at the same time. This tool also provides some auto-publishing functions so that if you want to set publishing up on some type of a timer, then you can have that open. An example could be when you come into the office in the morning, somebody opens up the GeoSync GO Desktop and turns auto-publishing on, and then any updates that might happen during the day would just automatically be placed in the cloud for use in the field. That works really well if you were having, let's say somebody is taking calls, citizen calls, and putting new points into your workflow, then the auto-publish would be copying those new locations that have come in from the citizen call and would make those available to someone in the field. They wouldn't have to come back in the office. They could just sync their tablet or phone or desktop and be able to see that information. The AutoPublish Layers tool also has a tab called Publish Map Tiles, and if you look across here, if we go to this interface, it's going to allow us to actually publish some of our cache tiles and set those up and make those available for use by our mobile devices in a connected environment. So I want to actually go out and look at the desktop software, which I have on the screen. This is a desktop project, and so if we take a look at this, one of the things I'll point out, the map features that are on top of the aerial photograph that we have here. We have parcels which we can ID. These are part of our SQL Layers, our base map that we might want to deploy to other desktops. So just as a reference, that's what's involved with that. The map layers that we've talked about, we can turn on the desktop and look at. Address.shp.gse.xml, that's an address GIS layer. I can turn that on, and that shows me all of my address points. This is a file that came from my GIS environment. It's for reference purposes only, and I might want to make that available on a number of projects, or I may want to make this available for mobile devices that have access to this particular integration demo project. I also have a couple of workflow layers, and you see here I have code enforcement, and the extension to that is .gse.xml. That is a workflow layer. If I open up the code enforcement layer, then I can see that I have a number of code enforcement activities that are shown here and the points associated with that. Again, that's a layer that I may want to have available or published so it would be available for use on a mobile device. The code enforcement activities is one of those things that during any given day I might be adding new points or there might be new locations involving code enforcement where we need a crew to go to that particular, or inspector to go to a particular address. That's a case where I'd like to be doing regular publishing. So if I'm adding new points or new locations in the office, I'd like for those to as quickly and easily be made available in the cloud for my field crews to be able to use. And that's where auto-publishing might come into play. So we'll take a little tour on publishing. we're going to go to the Publish Layers tool. It comes from Project Settings and Tools, and we go to the Publish Layers tool. So if I want to publish information related to this particular project, come in. This is my mobile layers, and here's a list of all the layers that are available in this project. Our address, code enforcement, we have an outfall update, workflow layer, and then we have some voting precinct layer, which is a polygon that would show the outline of certain voting precincts within our community. For this particular workflow, the things that I would like to have published and updated are these three layers. So if I want to update these, I select them, I click the To Cloud button, and then this goes through and actually copies and updates the Cloud Outbox with this data. And one thing we can look at is the date. The right side shows us what's actually in the Cloud Outbox, so we can kind of compare dates, we can compare sizes on here, and we can get we can check to see whether we've got the right data or how old is the data that's actually available for the mobile devices. That's our mobile layer publishing. That's pretty straightforward. We can look at our GeoSearch. This is our GeoSearch file, our address geosearch.gse. At this point, that has not been published to the cloud. To do that, I would just check here into the cloud, and then that file will be published and made available. We go down through, we have our quick search layer. We have a GeoSearch, a quick search that is available for this project, and if I want to refresh that project in the field, actually the one that I have out here has actually got a later date on it for some reason. But if I want to publish the one that's on my local machine and publish that and make it available in the cloud, then I can select that and copy that information and update it. Our GIS layer or our SQL layer file, and again, this will show us any of our SQL layer configurations that we have. Check those. Click those to the cloud. We'll publish any local GIS or SQL databases that we have for background mapping. Select those, pick the database that we want to the cloud, and that will copy that particular database resource to the Cloud Outbox and make it available for syncing to another device. But remember, the GIS layer, GIS database only work with our desktop software. The web software and the mobile software do not use these files. And also, the standard GeoSearch layer is only available for our desktop, and that's the search engine that's built from ArcGIS. Provides a really solid 911 address engine because it will include both roads with ranges and address points. But it is only going to be available for you on the using the desktop software on a Windows device. The mobile layers will work across all software. The quick search will also work against all software that we have, so you can deploy both of those. And when you make those available, when you publish those to the cloud, then any other GeoSync GO software can sync those from the cloud and use those as part of a workflow in the field. So this is our basic tool for publishing. The simplest, most straightforward process to do. You open this up, you pick the resource that you want, hit To Cloud, and publishing is complete as it moves it to the Cloud Outbox. There is another tool which is a little more sophisticated and provides more functionality, and that is our auto-publishing tool. And you can get to that tool in two different ways. You can use the the Manager Tools option, go to Office Processing and Publishing. This tool, which will open up our AutoPublish Layers, which again is a little more sophisticated tool. There's a lot more options. Or the quicker way to get to that tool is if you come to the label at the bottom of the interface that says Publishing. If you click on that, it will open up the AutoPublish Layers tool. Now, what's different about this is that if we look at this, we actually have this view lets us see all projects, not just one project. And the tool we were looking at just a minute ago is a project-by-project publishing tool. It's simple to use, but you can only do one project at a time. Using this tool, you can actually come in and set up publishing for a number of different projects at the same time. This tool also separates your data into, it says these are our basic layers, or these are our GIS layers, and these are our workflow layers. So it actually recognizes those differences, so you have an idea of what type of layer it is that you're going to publish or need to publish. The basic functionality for this is if you just want to publish one resource, if you select the layer on the left side, you can just publish one layer at a time. And that works just like the other publishing tool does. I can go to Integration Demo Projects, select one resource, hit Publish, and it will publish that particular resource for me. However, if I use the checkbox here, and I've got this check, say I check all three of those, then if I use the Publish button that's at the bottom, it will actually go through and publish everything that's checked in the interface. So in this case, I've got a number of resources, basic layers checked, and then I've got one workflow layer. If I want to publish, I don't want it to automatically just go through and publish all those resources. I can click the Publish button, and it will go through and publish everything that's checked and marked. That means I might have resources in a number of different projects, such as Stormwater Awareness Project or the MapSync Village Project. If I have those checked and I hit Publish, it will go through and publish to all of those projects at one time. So it's a little more sophisticated tool. You can do one at a time, but if you just wanted to publish this one outfall layer, you could select it and hit Publish, and it would just do the one layer. You also notice that some of these are marked in green. That means that I've actually saved, I can save the configuration for this. So in some cases, I know what resources, I have resources that I want to use on the desktop, and I know what I need to publish and refresh on a regular basis. So I could go through and set these up and then save, and then anything I have checked will be saved. The next time I open this up, these will already be marked for me. So one of the ways I could use this very quickly is I could open this up. I've got 3 or 4 different projects that I have, data I need to update. I hit the Publish button, it'll go through and publish everything that I need to refresh for all my projects at one time. That would work really good if I had, say, a water system crew and a sewer system crew, maybe a gas system crew, and I want to update their address data to all 3 of those. Then I can use this one tool and update that address resource to all 3 of those projects, so that everybody gets an update at once. That's a much more efficient way to do it than doing each project individually or at a time. The other option here under the map layers is an auto publishing option, and what you can do here is you can set up a timer, and so we've got a number of different options in here on how often you want to publish. If you use the start stop, then this will actually start on a timer and run as long as the desktop software is signed in, and every with an example, if it's 15 minutes, then about every 15 minutes this tool will run, and everything that's checked will get published on a regular basis. This would be a way for us to update data all day long without actually having to manually go in and do those updates. The other thing that would happen here, and I'm going to uncheck a few of these resources and just show you what happens. If I turn on if I start stop auto publishing, that will turn green. and then you'll begin to get a status message, say running, waiting. So it's waiting until the timer kicks in, and then the next time that it hits 15 minutes from this last published time, the tool will run. If you notice, if you've got auto publishing running, you'll notice that the light bulb on this label will be turned on, and that's how you know that auto publishing is running. So you've got something going on a regular timer if that light bulb is on. Anytime that you want to check on the publishing, you just click on that, and it'll open up the dialog, and you can check on what's going on in terms of the status of the publishing activity. I'm going to go to auto publishing. I'm going to stop the auto publishing for a moment. And go across to publish map tiles, because this is another option that we said if you have a need to update any cache tiles and make those available for mobile use, then you can select your an example here of, say, our Fayette voting cached map. Then we can check. That's not a good one. Let's use this Carter Home project. I have a number of different levels. I can check the levels that I want to, the tiles that I want to have published and available for my mobile project. Select those published tiles, and it will take this map and then make it available in the cloud for connected use in the field. This process this is only going to impact projects. It's going to only impact projects in which you're using a device that has a connection, an internet connection, a live connection. So if you need to use the tiles in a disconnected way, this is not the place to go for that. This is really this allows you to publish tiles that can be used in a connected way to be synced or to be viewed on a phone or a tablet or another desktop. There are also some settings here. If you want to set up your, once you set up your layers for publishing, there is an option here to start publishing automatically where you can save the settings, and then as soon as you sign back into the desktop, if auto save is set up, then it will, or auto start is set up, it will automatically start the publishing process and will run without you having to do anything. You just sign into the account, and that process will start running on whatever timer you have set up in place. So in terms of publishing, the purpose is to copy information that's critical for the workflow, copy that information to the Cloud Outbox so that it can then be consumed by the mobile device. Two tools that you use, either Publish Layer, which is you go to individual project, select the resources that you want and publish, or use the AutoPublish Layers tool, which provides a lot more accessibility to multiple projects and flexibility in terms of how you would publish data. So you can use either one of these tools, and once the data is copied to the cloud, then the mobile software then can either sync that information for use in a connected or disconnected way, or in the case of the web map, it may be able to hit that information live and display. But the information has to make its way to the Cloud Outbox before it can be used in the mobile on the mobile software. Let's go back here. So we had two tools, types of data. Again, just the publish process is taking the manager, taking this critical data, and you don't always need all of this information. but it is to take that information, move it to the Cloud Outbox, and then that information can be consumed by the mobile device. But publishing is just getting that information out there so that it's available for use. And that concludes our webinar for publishing. If you have questions or you need more information on that, then if you send questions to info@cdpengineers.com, or you can come to the website or contact MapSync Services technical support. We'll be happy to try to respond. Thanks for attending.